We've all heard statements like, you just have to eat healthier, or healthy eating is really the key to long-term well-being. But what actually is healthy eating? What qualifies as a health food? That's exactly what we're going to break down today on the Health Habit Podcast. So welcome, I'm Maria Bellavia, your host, and today we are going to simplify the overcomplicated hot mess that has become nutrition. If your wellness journey has you stuck in a cycle of overwhelm and inconsistency, it's time to lean in. Together, we are unlocking the confidence and clarity to make your health feel like a peaceful return home. Welcome to the Health Habit Podcast. I'm Maria, a nature-loving herbalist, science-obsessed nutrition therapy practitioner, and your guide to holistic healing. If you're ready for realistic routines that bring more presence and fulfillment into your life, then brew up some tea or crack open a kombucha and let's get into it. You can save every single healthy recipe on the internet, have the most perfect, flawless meal planning system, and still feel overwhelmed about putting it in action if you don't have the confidence about what healthy eating actually looks like. So today I'm going to answer in very simple terms, what is healthy eating and what qualifies as a health food? There are 4 criteria that I would give for a truly health promoting food item. And a health food is going to meet at least 2 or 3 of these 4 criteria. Number 1, nutrient density. This does not mean calorie density. Calories and nutrients are 2 very different things. You can eat a low calorie diet that is nutrient dense. You can put on muscle, you can build strength, you can feel better, you can support your long-term well-being. Nutrients is truly what is the most important aspect of food, because it is the vitamins and the minerals that your body is actually utilizing in order to run all of the daily operations. So the first criteria for a healthy food item is that it's going to be nutrient dense. Criteria number 2, minimally processed. Whenever you put food through processing, you naturally lose some of the nutrients. So the more processed that something is, yes, it might be more shelf stable, but the nutrient density is going to go down. Exceptions to this rule would be fermentation and freezing. Fermenting things tends to actually increase the nutrient density, and freezing tends to maintain the nutrient density, even though it is technically a way of processing food. So all in all, the more that we can eat food in its raw, natural form, the better off we are going to be, because whole foods tend to have more nutrients. Thus, it meets our first criteria of a nutrient-dense food item. The third criteria is you need to be able to digest it. So this is where things get a little bit more personalized. If something is generally considered a healthy food, but you can't digest it well, it is no longer healthy for you. You need to be able to digest the food in order to get and absorb the nutrients. So in order to be considered a health food, you need to be able to digest it well. And then the fourth criteria is bioavailability. This one just means that not only can you digest it, but you can actually absorb the nutrients within it. A really good way to think about this is through the lens of vitamins and supplements. You would think that having a vitamin or a supplement is going to be health promoting, and at times it is, but it depends on what kind of version of the vitamin and mineral they're putting into the supplement. So a lot of the vitamins and supplements that you see on the shelves in your grocery store or your health food store are not very bioavailable. So they're not going to be absorbed and thus utilized by the body. Now, I know that this is getting more technical. I just want to throw it out there because as a nutrition professional, I can't not mention bioavailability. You do not necessarily need to know exactly how bioavailable something is. It's just a great concept to have in your mind, and you can always do a quick Google search. How bioavailable is XYZ food? So 4 criteria for a healthy food. They are nutrient dense. It is minimally processed. You can easily digest it, and it is bioavailable. If a food item meets 2 or 3 of those criteria, I would classify it as a healthy food. So all in all, what does healthy eating look like? It looks like majority of the time you are eating a whole food, nutrient-dense diet. And again, a whole food just means that it is in its more raw, natural state. It's something that like your great-great-grandparents would recognize. On your ingredient label, it's going to be something you could picture actually having in your fridge. That would be a whole food. So think fruits, vegetables, grains, nuts. These things tend to be packed with vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, fiber, and also these beautifully health-promoting bioactive compounds. So these are compounds that just activate things in your physiology. And my friend, did you catch that I said majority of the time? If you can recall from episode 44, one of the key things that keeps very capable women stuck, completely stagnates their process, is seeking perfection. Healthy eating does not mean that you are having whole food, nutrient-dense items every day, all day long, no matter what. Healthy eating means majority of the time, that is what your diet looks like. Majority of the time, you're eating more complex carbohydrates instead of simple ones. Majority of the time, you're eating minimally processed whole foods. Majority of the time, you are prioritizing nutrient-dense add-ins on your recipes. Not all the time, majority of the time. If you feel like you need a number, 80%. Like if you can get to 65 to 80% of the time, that's huge win. You are above majority of Americans at that point. So just to really nail it in, healthy eating means at least 65 to 80% of the time you are eating a nutrient-dense whole foods diet. You're prioritizing foods that meet at least 2 or 3 of our 4 health food criteria. It's nutrient dense, it's minimally processed, you can easily digest it, and it's bioavailable. So take this framework and instead of overcomplicating everything, instead of trying to factor in all of the different health advice that is on the internet, if a food meets at least 2 of those 4 criteria, it feels good in your body, then it is likely safe to consider that a healthy food. Remember, at the end of the day, simplicity is going to lead to way more progress than perfection and overcomplication ever will. Keep it simple and build gradually. If you're not sure how to discern if something feels good in your body, listen to episode 43, where we specifically talk about techniques that build that mindfulness around food. At this point, we have a solid foundation for what is healthy eating. So taking all of that into consideration, look at the recipes that you put into your meal planning system. And if you don't have a meal planning system, listen to episode 45, where I specifically outline how to create one. And tweak any meals that you feel have foods that don't meet this health food criteria. And if you need some hand-on support for really figuring out what recipes, what meals are truly health supporting, I got your back. In a few weeks, I'm going to be doing a live virtual training where we build a meal planning system together from start to finish. We design every meal. You will have an opportunity to ask me any of your nutrition and meal planning system questions. And you'll be doing it alongside other women who will also have their own questions. So this is going to be a loaded implementation session that you will not want to miss. So if that is something that you need in your life, or you just want to really get an extra set of eyes on your meal planning system, make sure you are subscribed to the Health Habit newsletter. You can do that by heading to thehealthhabit.net/community or click the link in the show notes. Again, that's thehealthhabit.net/community. Make sure you're on the email list so you get all of the details, and do not miss this amazing live opportunity to build a one-time meal planning system. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope this episode gave you more clarity into nutrition and healthy eating. I will see you all next week for the next episode of the Health Habit podcast. And as always, if this episode helped you, please make sure to send it to a friend so you can spread the knowledge and implementation within this podcast. And that is a wrap, my friends. I hope to see you soon, whether it be virtually or in person at one of my Health Habit yoga sessions, our Sunday Soul Resets. Until we meet again, bye guys!